You see, there's a lot of confidence in the gym about Will's win. Where does this confidence come from?
Results.
Okay.
He went in there, he talked a big game, and he delivered. Especially in that last fight, that opponent was high level, and Will, his grappling game was always very effective, but the striking, something clicked with him where he really has now mastered range control and distance, and he got that viral knockout. It's a beautiful shot. He didn't bludgeon the guy, he didn't just ground and pound him. This was a surgical strike. And yeah, I love when someone says what they're going to do and then go out and does it.
Being out there and being vocal about it, how do you kind of wheel him back a bit to get him prepped for the fight itself?
Well, certainly with Will, there's no danger of him suddenly believing he's all that and he stops training because he's getting the results. If anything, I've only seen his training intensify and get harder on himself. He puts himself through torturous strength and conditioning workouts off his own back. I don't have to be looking over his shoulder. He's very self-driven, self-motivated. And then I see him, he's on the mat every day, he's improving, he's trying to get better, he's always asking me questions. So yeah, a combination of his own hard work, an environment we provide so that he can continue to grow in skills. And then, like I said, he's gone out and he's done it.
There's going to be a period of time where we focus a lot more on Will rather than what his opponent is.
Yeah, I've always said that to the guys. Don't get too caught up on tape. His opponent could change a week out. You know, we have the famous one in the gym with Conor facing Mendes, and then suddenly it's Aldo. Like, talk about it. Sorry, it was going to be Aldo, then it was Mendes. Talk about a change of opponent, completely different style, physique, everything. So the point being is that if you're always trying to improve yourself skill-wise, well, then you're ready for that change of opponent. On Karlos, I've known Karlos since he was training, and known of Karlos since he was training in London Shoot. I've seen plenty of his fights. It's not very complicated what he does, but he's very effective at it.
Yes.
So we're used to that overhand right guy, some wrestling, ground and pound. There's nothing very, like I said, it's not very complicated what he does. He knows how to win, and he's very effective with his strategy. But it'd be something I'd be very confident of Will going in against.
You see, in terms of Oktagon, did you have a relationship with them before Will had signed with the promotion, or was that something that kind of developed once he signed the contract?
Yeah, I've known the Oktagon guys for many years now. Okay. I was at a show. I had a Czech fighter for a while training here, Lucy Pujilova. I believe she's fighting for their belt soon as well. Okay. So I've been at the events. I've met the promoters. They've flown over here. I've always bigged up Oktagon before they were that well known internationally. When I was, for example, on the Helwani show, I told him, you've got to go check out Oktagon. Okay. What they're doing on the European scene, I had never seen before. These filling stadiums, and not just doing it once, they've done it several times. Yeah. So to have one of my own go over there and quickly move up the ranks towards becoming maybe the first Oktagon champion out of here is major for me. But yeah, I know all the Oktagon guys very well, and I'm very excited to get our first Oktagon belt.
Would you like to see more SBG fighters in Oktagon?
Absolutely. I don't know whether guys want me to bring it up or not, but I have been harassing them for the last year to get some more SBG guys on. Always making suggestions. Well, what about this guy for this? Wasn't getting a huge amount of feedback for them. And then I really put the pressure on for Will's story. I thought he had more than delivered on what he said he would, and I thought he had very much earned and was deserved of a title fight. So I did turn the screw a bit. The guys, I'm sure, will let you know that. I put a lot of pressure on them to make this fight happen, and in fairness to them, they did it.
Will's had to work really hard and call him out a couple of times before this fight was actually announced.
You know, I don't think he's afraid of anybody. Yeah. He's an experienced professional fighter. I think he's on the tail end. Maybe this is his last fight. I could understand where he's coming from, wanting maybe a slightly more winnable fight to go out on a high note. Yeah. But the new line has come along.
I love it.
The new line has come along, and it'll be a great fight. There's going to be a lot of heat around it, and I'm sure he'll have his moments in it. And when he loses, it would be no shame in it. He's losing to the new line.
Win, and in terms of the Octagon title, where does that kind of go into the history of SBG?
Well, look, I always like firsts, and we have a hell of a lot of firsts in the gym. Just last weekend, we had the first time an Irish person has won a IMAF world title twice. Young Amy here.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I always like doing firsts, and this will be our first Octagon belt, which for a long time you'd have to say the Cage Warriors belt was probably the most prestigious in Europe. I would think now the Octagon belt has passed it by. Just looking at their numbers, you know, Cage Warriors is very UK orientated. They get 1,000 people, 500 people showing up. Octagon gets 20,000 people showing up, 40,000 people showing up. So I think Octagon has proven itself to be the hub, if you want to say, of European talent. And yeah, so like I said, I like first, and will be the SBG's first Octagon champion. I think you have to bring something pretty special to the table to survive in there with Will at the moment. Like I talked about, his stand-up striking has become very surgical. Karlos has to go through a lot of damage to even get close to him. He may get some success early on with some takedowns and ground and pound, but to try and hold him down with a combination of his technique and his skill set and his raw power and athleticism, I don't see him making the championship rounds.